So I'm from the International Language Coaching Association. My name is Gabriella Kovács, and I'm going to guide you through part 4 of our 5-part mini-series on what language coaching is, how it works. And I guess it's going to be a journey that will sooner or later come to an end, unless you sign up to our newsletter or you check out other videos on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn. So definitely connect with us so that you can continue on this journey to learn more about language coaching, which we're going to jump into. So far, I've been talking about a number of areas related to language coaching. And today we're going to be looking at what it's like to work on the mindset that changes through the process of language coaching. So it's going to be a very exciting tour today. What I've been talking about so far is what the language coaching definition is. It's a definition that ILCA came up with a couple of years ago. We come back to it, revise it. We worked on it with our language coaching board, our ILCA board. And in part 2, we looked at what language coaching actually does. Part 3 looked into the similarities, differences, and various competencies that teachers and coaches share and what the differences are. And today we're going to be looking at how language coaching addresses the mindset. So let's have a look a little bit. First of all, mindset it's something that we would want to look at as a tool because it's so very, very powerful. It might be something that we don't address when we're teaching or when we're in a classroom with 30 kids. I think it's good to be aware of what sort of mindset our learners have, in particular for them to know if, as their educator, we're hearing a lot of this, I'll never do this, everyone, this is always happening, I'm just not good enough, etc., then you're going to be picking up on a pretty negative mindset, which can influence the way they view themselves as learners. So what is happening here? There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of perhaps resentment, even anger, in terms of the feelings and emotions that the learners are experiencing. They might be jumping into the blame game, which is that they're looking for all sorts of excuses why they're not doing things, and they're trying to put the blame on certain circumstances, people even in their environment, for reasons for why they're not perhaps making the sort of progress that they could be. A positive mindset would be much more like, I know I'm making progress, I know I can do this, I know that I make mistakes, but I'll get through that, etc. And understanding that it's not always about perfection. Perfection is great as an ideal, but it just simply might not happen, and striving towards that. And lately, issues around trying to be like a native is not necessarily seen as something that, like 20 years ago, people sort of went by. So trying to be in a situation where you feel okay with what you have and clearly strive to be better is seen as that sort of golden point where you want your learners to be. And this, of course, is going to lead to a lot of positive impact on whatever small progress there is. Now, if we try to reinforce the positive mindset with the way that the language that we use, the positivity that we ourselves have regarding what we do and how we are connected, what sort of relationship we're building and sort of tending with our learners, it's going to be essential for them because they're going to pick up on these vibes, right? So good vibes, good outcomes. It's not to say that we shouldn't be dealing with anxiety or frustration or whatever there might be. And there could be very good cause for it. But what we can do is offer a space, psychologically safe space, where the learner can share what is going on Now, how we do that, that's all in our courses, and that's where you're going to learn about it. But to say that you want your learners to understand that it's okay not to be okay in itself is an acknowledgement of, appreciating that, okay, you're having a bad time, you're struggling, it's difficult, I get it. Let's look at what we can do to move forward. Okay. So not dismissing it like you shouldn't be feeling like that, or not even noticing it at all. So we want them to be resilient. We want the learners to understand that there is a way to move forward. And yes, it can be painful. It can be something which is not going to bring out the best in them, the frustration. But hopefully over time they can build the trust and confidence in them, because we believe in them and we know they can do it. And we know that there's been some experiments on this. That there are two groups. One group, the teacher didn't acknowledge and reinforce in a positive way. The other group, with exactly the same test results, whatever, they were encouraged and positively reinforced, and guess which one got the better results over time. So yeah, it does count what kind of language, how we're approaching them. So this can all lead to communication breakthrough. What does that actually mean? It means that we're helping them to be not only safe, but to know that they can look at it as an opportunity. The way that we set the field, so to say, we want them to understand that it's okay that you make mistakes. Let's try to have it low stake, and try and get the learner to accept that the first step, it doesn't have to be up there. It's okay if you're here. And then slowly you're going to get there. Okay. So it opens up, it frees the learners. They're not going to look like the lady there in the picture, who's obviously in a very stressed situation. And most often stress, too much stress, too much negativity, feeling uncomfortable having to speak, or not being able to understand something, or write, or read, whichever of the four key skills somebody is struggling with. It's okay. It takes time, it takes patience, lots of encouragement. Not to say that this is only in the domain of coaching, obviously not, but teachers can practice more empathy, more understanding, and language coaching is full of elements of positive psychology, and taking its cue from using emotional intelligence also to a large degree. So hopefully your learners are going to be able to notice how their stress levels change, fluctuate, and what they can do to reduce the stress, and also what they can do to be more creative, spontaneous, and more free in the way that they express themselves. Negative mindset, there's a lot of things going on here. Okay, so it can be, someone who looks at wanting to be flawless, that they have this ideal in their head that they want to be, absolutely perfect in everything that they do, and when they fall short of that, it's just not going to happen. They're going to perhaps feel that they're going up there. When it doesn't happen, boom, they're down there again. Okay, they might be limiting a lot of things. They might just say things like, I'm just not a language person. And of course, the shift in their thinking when they're in this negative phase, it takes a lot of energy for them. So for them to be able to move out of that paralysis might be it might take a little bit more time than we think. So sort of giving them again that time and space, so that they can understand what is really going on in these situations for them. It's going to be very rewarding, both for you, for your learner. Positive mindset, it doesn't mean, you know, everyone's always happy, but it does mean that you understand the essence of small steps so that the motivation is there all the time just to make progress. Even if it's just for that week, there are 3 new words, or you were able to do the homework and some of it was good, then that's praiseworthy. Then just go ahead and say, good. I know that there are some difficulties going on now for you. I'm glad that you took the time and you did that homework, or you were able to attend the lesson. I know that you're very busy. It might be an adult who's, you know, got a lot of work and family commitments. I appreciate you turning up. I appreciate your taking the time to work with me. Thank you very much for being here. It can change the whole atmosphere. It might be the first time in the day that learner, that client, that person has been, in a way, you know, given some positive feedback. So it's always going to be truly appreciated. What's the role of the coach? I mean, honestly, I mean, we're just meant to sit there and smile. Again, obviously not. We're going to be helping their internal, you know, operating system, if you will. We're going to be looking at showing them what is going on. You know, if we see that they've got this they're in this very, very negative rut, to say, okay, let me hold a mirror here for you. What do you see? If a friend of yours came here and saw you talking in this negative tone about your language learning, what would they say? Or how is all this affecting you? Where is this leading to? You know, so we want them to understand that it's really holding them back, but it's the mindset that's holding them back, not their talent. And we know language learning very often is not about talent, but it's about, you know, sustainable habits that they can maintain for a longer period of time. We want to be reframing that negativity into data, information that they can work with to move forward. It's a bit like, you know, let's do a SWOT analysis. Let's see what your strengths are. We're also addressing the weaknesses. We're looking at how we can move them into the strength zone, and try to find opportunities that are going to be addressing the threats that they feel that they have. Okay. And then we're going to scaffold them. We're going to provide the tools. We're going to help them to move forward. And it's going to be a new narrative. So we're looking at how to reframe the strategy. Okay. So we're looking at not just an event. We're not looking at, you know, a story as such, but we're looking at, okay, this and this and this is what I hear, this and this and this is what I'm seeing that is going on for you. How do you feel about this? So we're going to try and separate the two. We're separating the fact, what happened, and how they feel about it, so that there's no wishy-washy stuff going on there. And with that, we're able to separate the two, and the learner learns to separate these. Why is this important? It's important so that the emotional attachment is separated from what actually happens. We want to find out how they can start learning, looking at it as guidance, us guiding them, but then also looking at how they can move themselves into a more positive mindset, and then turn all this into momentum. So instead of being stuck like in a bottleneck, you can actually just take a step back and have a look at what's going on. So instead of looking at, you know, oh, I'm the victim, I can't do it, and this and this and this is going on, I'm looking at, okay, this is what I have, and this is what I plan to do. A completely different frame of mind. So instead of looking at language learning as something that I have to do and I don't want to do it, it's say, okay, I choose to work on this and this and this, right? So we're going to ask the client, the learner, to say, okay, what is it that's going to motivate you? What is it that's going to empower you? How can I empower you, help you? And this is all going to lead to really good habits, because that's what helps you to move on. So there are a number of ways that we can approach mindset. Obviously, this is just really the tip of the iceberg. Our courses and everything that we do at ILCA addresses these and much, much more. If you're interested in what we do get in touch, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we'll get in touch and work personally together. Do click and get in touch at the website, or write to us, or follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for listening. Gabriella Kovács here from ILCA.